I'm going to do a few more of my one-act plays. And the first one I'm going to do is something I wrote back in 19... It was like about 1997, 1996. This play I submitted, and I actually... once again, I got a theater interested, but they wanted the play to be of a longer length, and I didn't write it that way. I wrote it as one act. It's very simple. It's a 10-page play, 11 pages. Let me see exactly. I think it's 10 pages. Oh, excuse me. It's 14 pages. It's 12 pages long. That's what. It's 14 pages with the title and the player's page. But anyway, and I didn't want to extend it, so I left it as is, and that was that. But anyway, I guess I'm somewhat of a stubborn writer. I guess in certain ways. So I don't. Sometimes I see things. I see my plays as a certain way, and that's that. And funny thing, a lot of writers are like that, especially playwrights. We tend to be stubborn in nature when it comes to playwriting. So, anyway, this is called The Child's Play, a play in one act. Players are Eve, mother, 35 years old. Adam, father, 35 years old. Evie, daughter, 15 years old. Kurt, son, 16 years old. Child represents all children at a young age. Scene, parlor and room, time, present. Act 1, Scene 1, setting, parlor. At rise, day. Before the lights fade up, we see a night light. As the lights fade up, we see Eve peering out a window. Adam enters. He stands still. He crosses to Eve. He stands behind her with his hands on her shoulders. Adam. Saul killed himself. Eve. When? Adam. Last night. Eve. Why? Don't know. Any idea? She says to herself, suicide? Suicide. Life was a bore without Mom. I'm not surprised as I should be. Funny, I feel like dying too. You do. What's there to live for? In this moment, our moment, you gotta be joking. You believe all that, or what? This life what? It's shit. Oh, it is shit. S-H-I-T, shit. Our life here on Earth is shit? No question about it. Why? I thought you at least liked life. Life tends to remind you of what? Of so little. Our 16-year marriage, the 2 kids, the investments, a retirement plan, shit. It's much wider. Look at it. Eve and Adam peer out the window. Another Sunday afternoon, 76th to Madison, so branch a bit more. Harlem got you down? Nothing got me down. Nothing got you down? Oh, come on, Adam, for Christ's sake. Does it all really matter? Or what really matter? Another birth, another death, life goes on. We just click the alarm and it's set. Don't blame yourself for last night. I'm not blaming myself for last night. You aren't. I'm blaming myself for this moment. Nothing can be done. It's over. I should have shot him myself. Then things would have been just fine. No, they wouldn't have. And how can you be so cocksure? You never paid him any mind either. I am now. You are now. Don't make me fucking laugh. He was a great beer-drinking son of a bitch. He sure was best with a laugh. He probably died laughing. I guess, well, Just toss him into the ditch with the rest of the good old boys. Eve and Adam Pace spar. Sound up to the job, Adam? I might have to sit this one out if you don't mind. Oh, but I do mind. I mind all the time. He wasn't such a real bother to have around. How do you suppose that? Well, he had no one. Your mom died last night. So did your two sisters by that ghetto youth, that carjacker. Misfortunes do occur. Unfortunately, we take them all to heart. Your father, well, he took it all to heart. Excuse me. You're right about that. He never could tell me how he felt. Not his fault, though. His father before him the same way. Listen. No use killing ourselves over spilled milk. We got 2 kids depending on us to make their lives full of sun and Coney Island, what's left of it. It's not that I'm buying into it, I want you to understand. I do. So you're going on, as usual. It's a normal thing to do. No longer suicidal. My suicide certainly won't make a difference. A slight downturn in the unemployment rate, other than that, all remains moot. So you go on only to go on. Evie Kurt needs me. Too weak not to. I probably helped more than I had to, but it's too late, like everything else. You think orangutans decide against what? Life, their young, the future generation? I don't know. I never asked one, or had the time to inquire. And here we are, safe and secure, way up high in our tree, while everyone else scratches and growls. I thought you said it doesn't matter. What matters, dear, is when our kids grow up and have their kids will be no different than our kids. I'm sorry to be the one to inform you of this, but... I'm sorry to be the one to inform you of the sad fact, but that's life. And it's also, by the way, my death. Well, while you're living your death, make room for me and the family. Were you trying to cheer me up? No, I don't think that's possible. Not even remotely plausible. I'm trying to cheer me up. Because after 16 years of marriage, it's cruelly dawned upon me I had married a slow becoming basket case. And you're becoming? I don't want to shock you, but I have always been a matter of me. Yeah, real prick. Well, at least it's real. Don't doctor it, doctor. For once in your life, let me bleed. You want to bleed? Go on, bleed. And while you're bleeding, you must hear me out. I provide well. I don't ask for anything in return but your and my 2 kids' happiness, other than a good beer fuck. When's the last time you spoke with your son, Kurt? I spoke with him last night. Hello once, bye twice. You're keeping score. How many legs have you spread wide apart, Mr. Gynecologist? I love my kid, and he knows it. Probably saw more cunt than Kurt. All this shit 'cause your father passed on. No, Adam. All this 'cause he finally gave me an inch to realize the difference. Realize what difference? That a living death ain't no damn different than dying one. We had our good times. You can't say we never had. And for what purpose? To have another? You're too young to be this old. After one, what's another? You're an artist. Apply it. You start out with a blank canvas, applying, reapplying till it's right. What's right if everything's wrong to begin with? Each other, you and me and the kids, who just may happen to die on the way home from Walmart this afternoon. But it's no big deal, 'cause death is nothing new. I mean, just think, Eve. He walks forward before the audience. It'll give the next poor sucking kid a little more room to burp and choke. And maybe, just maybe, we'll have all the luck in the world that our next generation of kids will beat each other till their heads pop off one by one. And if we're all a little greener still, maybe the press will use blood as ink. Sound alrighty with you? Sounds like a wonderful time. He turns to her as she approaches him. I'll stab the kids when they get back. Or should we wait until they're asleep? Right before their pretty little eyes gently fall off to sleep. Sounds perfect. Luckily, we only have 2 kids, one for you and one for me. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm so madly insane, but you're happy. Yes, completely satisfied. We're the same. You and I. If only we could all be this happy. Yes, how great we'd all be. He peers out. It is a lovely day, isn't it, Eve? Tomorrow, ever more lovelier. I could never agree with you more. Chainsaw, their heads, wouldn't want it any other way. I'm so happy, terrifically uplifted, pleasantly amused. I love you. For the first time in my life, I can sincerely say I love you too. We'll have more tonight after their deaths. I want 10, maybe 15 children. Soon as each one reaches their first question, zap, off with their heads. We'll make it a tradition, a family tradition. Maybe others in our community will follow suit. It'll be the next craze. It'll be splendid and glamorous. We may even become famous, Guinness, all over the world. Everyone celebrating death and killing and torture. It'll be grand, fantastic, romantic. Political, apolitical, Eve, Adam. Let's renew our vows, now, forever, holding hands face to face. Your father dying was an omen, a good omen. You're right, Eve. We must accept death as life. Death makes for life, will make for life, new life, everlasting life, here on earth, our earth. As Adam and Eve are about to kiss, Evie and Kurt enter with shotguns. Evie, Mom? She cocks the gun. Eve turns to Evie. Kurt says, Dad? He cocks the gun. Adam turns to Kurt. Adam and Eve says at the same time, Kids! In the instant Evie kills Eve and Kurt kills Adam. Lights out. Light up on child in room, awakening in bed. Mommy! Light out. End of scene 1. End of play. So, really what it was really about a child's nightmare. And it's called The Child's Light because even though you have a night light on in a child's bedroom, doesn't mean means nothing really to have a night light on in a child's bedroom. Because when the child goes to sleep, he can have a nightmare like this. And he dreamt of this. This was actually his dream. So the point to the play is that a child's light or a night light doesn't do tiddly squat, because once the child's asleep, he could still have very bad thoughts. So anyway, so that was that play, and actually, I wound up using this play in Wellspring when I wrote Wellspring. I actually used this scene, or this one-act play, which turned into just a scene for the Wellspring full-length play. And so in a way, I guess years later when I wrote the Wellspring, I think it was in 2010 when I started it. If I knew it back in 1997 or 96, I might have been able to, and I wrote Wellspring then, after I wrote this one-act play within that time period in the late 90s. Possibly the theater would have been interested. But anyway, so that was that play. And I'm going to stop the video, and then I'm going to do another play. So I hope you liked it. Bye.